Have you ever set your alarm for 5 a.m. with big plans, only to hit snooze and wake up at 8 feeling guilty? Maybe you've heard that successful people wake up early. Maybe you've tried it yourself, once, twice, maybe even 10 times. But every time you fall back into the same old habits. You tell yourself, I'm just not a morning person. I need my sleep. But what if the first hour of your day holds the power to change your entire life? What if the difference between the life you have and the life you want is hidden in the quiet hours before sunrise? Today, I want to tell you the story of a man who had nothing until 5 a.m. became his secret weapon. Stay with me until the end, because this story might be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. In a small industrial town where factories hummed day and night, there lived a 32-year-old man named Thomas. Thomas worked as a night security guard at a textile warehouse. Every evening at 8 p.m., he arrived at the gate. And every morning at 6 a.m., exhausted and drained, he walked home through quiet streets. His salary barely covered his needs. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment with a broken fan, a mattress on the floor, and a single flickering light bulb. But what hurt Thomas the most wasn't the poverty. It was the feeling of being stuck. Every morning on his way home, he passed houses where lights were turning on. Through the windows, he saw families having breakfast, men putting on clean shirts and leaving for office jobs. And Thomas would quietly ask himself, is this my life forever? He tried to change his situation. He applied for better jobs. But with only a high school education, every door seemed to close. He wanted to learn new skills. But after working all night, he was always too tired to do anything except sleep. Once a week, his mother called him from the countryside. Her voice was gentle but worried. Thomas, my son, when will things get better for you? I'm getting old. I want to see you succeed. Thomas always answered with forced confidence. Soon, Mama. I'm working on it. But deep down, he knew the truth. He had no idea how to change his life. Thomas was not lazy, but hard work alone wasn't moving his life forward. Every morning around 7 a.m., he collapsed into bed and slept until the afternoon. While the world moved forward, Thomas slept through it. Then one cold Tuesday morning, everything changed. As Thomas was leaving work, his phone rang. It was his sister. Thomas, you need to come home. Mama collapsed. She's in the hospital. He rushed to the bus station and took the first bus to his village. 3 long hours that felt like forever. When he finally arrived at the clinic, his mother was lying in bed, weak. She had fainted from exhaustion and stress. His mother gently held his hand. Thomas, please don't waste your life like I did. Promise me you'll find a better way. Later that morning, Thomas stepped outside the clinic. It was 5 a.m. The village was quiet. The sky was still dark. Standing there in the silence of dawn, something inside Thomas changed. Not sadness, determination. On the bus ride back to town, Thomas noticed a man sitting across from him, well-dressed, calm, reading a book. Finally, Thomas gathered the courage to ask, Sir, why are you traveling so early? The man smiled. Because I wake up at 4:30 every morning. The early hours are when I read, think, and plan my life. The man leaned forward and said, Young man, the hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. are magic hours. That's when you build the life you want, while everyone else is still dreaming. The man gave Thomas a simple system. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Spend the first hour learning a skill. The first week was brutal. Thomas's body begged him to stay in bed. Every morning the alarm screamed at 5 a.m. He spent his mornings watching free tutorials online, learning accounting and Excel. At 6 a.m., he walked around his neighborhood. Around day 20, something strange happened. Thomas woke up before his alarm. His body had adapted. By the second month, he had completed several online courses. He felt stronger, more confident, more focused. Then in the third month, Thomas created a simple Excel system to organize the warehouse inventory. On the 87th day of his 5 a.m. journey, Thomas was called into the office. They offered him a day shift job in accounting. 1 year later, Thomas had become the company's lead accountant. He moved his mother to town so she could receive proper care. And every single morning, he still woke up at 5 a.m., not because he had to, but because those 2 hours had become sacred. The difference between where you are today and where you want to be is not talent, not luck. It's what you do while everyone else is sleeping. Tonight, set your alarm for 5 a.m., not 5:30, not 6 o'clock, 5. And tomorrow morning, start building the life you want. Success isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. And that practice begins tomorrow morning. At 5 a.m., if this story inspired you, subscribe to Wise Horizon. Tell me in the comments, what will you build during your first hour tomorrow morning? Your future self is waiting. Don't keep them waiting.